Welcome to the Southern Mountain Kitchen. Today we're going to make southern fried pork chops with milk gravy. So what you see on my counter is what we're going to use to make this. Now mind you, I only have about 2 pork chops here. You could probably add a third to this if you wanted to, just to have more food. But other than that, there's really just a lot of seasoning going into this, some milk, some pork chops, some flour, and you've got something really amazing that's really flavorful, and it's great if you add like a vegetable or some bread with this. It's just perfect for dinner or lunch or whenever you want to make it. So we're going to start with our pork chops, and we're going to season them before we get going on this. So in my bowl here, I have a half a teaspoon of garlic pepper seasoning and a half a teaspoon of Creole seasoning, which is Zatarain's. And I'm basically just going to go on the front and back of these and just make sure that they're really seasoned. So once you get the seasoning on, just take your fingers, press it in a little bit, and then once you're completely coated on that side, flip it over, and we're going to move to the other side to do it as well, because we want to make sure that these have a lot of flavor packed into them before they even hit the gravy. So go ahead, put your seasoning on, and make sure that you just use up as much as you can of this on these. And you're going to need a large skillet in a minute, so make sure you've got one of those handy. And once your seasoning is on, we're going to move on to the next step of this. So when you have your pan ready, we're going to put it over medium-high heat. So we want to actually make sure we have oil available to put into this, and you're going to need at least 4 to 5 tablespoons of oil. We just want to make sure there's plenty in there to fry these, but also to make sure that we have enough to make our gravy when we're done. Because once you fry the pork chops in this oil, it's going to take on a flavor of the chops and the seasoning they had on them, and that's perfect to add to your gravy. So once you have this on medium-high heat, add your oil to your pan, and then we're going to bring in the pork chops. Now when we're cooking our pork chops, I like to flip these a couple times just to make sure they cook really well. So we're going to go like to one side of this and cook it for 4 minutes. Then flip it and cook it for another 4 minutes, and I flip it over and do it for at least another 3, because what we're trying to do is get this up to at least 145 degrees temperature internal for the pork to make sure that it's cooked completely. But the best thing to do is to get this in here, sear it, and just cook it for a while to make sure that it really just cooks well. We don't want any undercooked pork here. So you could use boneless pork if you wanted to. I have bone in mine, which is why I like to make sure that it cooks thoroughly. We don't want anything raw around that bone. So once we keep flipping it, and you're going to see it starts to go brown on the outside, that's what we want. We want to sear this and make sure that it's really browned before we even get anywhere near making gravy or anything. So keep working with this, keep flipping it until it's completely done. And then when we get to the point that we feel that these are really browned and really well done, we're going to remove them from the pan, but we're going to leave that oil in there because we're going to need it for the gravy. We just want to make sure it stays in there. So keep flipping these around, make sure that nothing is coming out of them, because sometimes when you flip them you will see the blood coming out as it's cooking. Make sure it's all gone. And then afterwards we're going to pick them up and move them to the side and set them on a plate. Now drip off all that oil that you can as you're taking them out, because we do want that to come in to make our gravy. So go ahead and remove them, and then we're going to come in here with at least 4 tablespoons or maybe a little more of flour that we're going to mix into this oil to make a roux, which we're going to use to make our gravy. So we're going to get this in here, and I like to whisk this a little bit. You could actually use a slotted spoon or whatever works for you. But the point right now is we want to get this flour combined into the oil as best possible without a lot of lumps in it. And we want to make sure that we cook this for at least a couple minutes to get the taste of the flour out of it, because we really do not want to taste flour in our gravy when we're making it at the end. So just keep mixing it up until you feel that it's totally combined together. And in a minute, we're going to bring in at least 2 cups of milk to add to this. So the whole point right now is break up everything for that flour, make sure it's all combined into the oil, and then we're going to put just a little bit of milk in here to start with to actually start working it in, because I like to do it in stages. Like I'll put in just maybe not even a third of a cup of milk. I'll mix that in, I'll add a little more, and then when I feel that it's really mixed and it's really liquidy, then I'll add the rest of the milk. Because if you try to throw it all in at once, sometimes it will clump up and make a mess, and you really don't want to do that. So as you can see, I'm just putting a little bit in here, and then I'm going to mix it up. And I'm just going to keep going with this, because you don't want this to just sit. You want to actually go ahead and use your whisk or whatever and just mix through and make sure that you're combining these together. The longer it sits without doing it will actually make lumps. So add a little bit more milk to this, and once we feel that this is totally like really silky and working for what we want it to, we'll add in the rest of the milk at the point where we feel it can work. And fortunately for this time through, it worked really well on the first couple of tries. Sometimes you gotta work with this to actually get the lumps out, but that's okay. It just really depends on how much flour you got, how much oil you got, what the balance is between the two. But at this point, this needs to be on medium high. You need to keep stirring it to make sure that it doesn't set up shop anywhere, and we don't want it settling on the bottom. We want to just keep going, and as you go and you keep stirring this, you're going to notice that any kind of lumps or anything you have there will be disappearing. Now mind you, if you see something floating around in what you're doing right now, there's probably some debris that was left over from the pork chops. That's good, that's flavor, you want that. So just keep stirring it, and then when we get to the point, we're going to add some seasoning to this. So we're adding a half a teaspoon of salt and a half a teaspoon of pepper to it. We're going to mix that in, and then we're going to come in right behind this with some paprika and red pepper flakes. Now for the paprika and the red pepper flakes, I wouldn't even use 1/4 of a teaspoon unless you want something spicy, because the more of the red pepper flakes, the spicier it's going to get. So I use about 1/5 of a teaspoon of paprika and 1/5 of a teaspoon of red pepper flakes. This is going to give it a little warmth and kind of make it kind of tasty, because it's going to have something extra to it. If you add more of the red pepper flakes and you went over 1/4 of a teaspoon, it's going to start getting hot. And the more you add, the hotter it'll get. So if you like really hot stuff, go for it. The average person doesn't like it that hot, so let's just basically dial it back, and with what I put in there, it'll just give it a warm taste as you're eating it. But all of this flavor just works together, from the seasoning that was on the pork chops to the seasoning that goes into the gravy. They just work to have this kind of mildly spicy, warm taste to them, but it works with the pork chops because the pork just takes on that flavor, and that's the best thing about it. So we're going to keep stirring this until it starts to thicken, because that's what we want it to do. We want it to thicken up, but we don't want it to dry out. So keep stirring it, but once you get to a point where you think yours is thick enough, and we're talking like silky gravy, you know, that point you want to turn that heat down, because you don't want to overcook this and you don't want it to actually dry out on you. But we want to keep going until we notice it is thick enough to where we want it to be to go over top of our pork chops. Now, you could put your pork chops in here right now and let them cook in the gravy. I do it all the time. But in this one, I decided I wanted to just pour the gravy over top of the pork chops when they were done on the plate. Just because, you know, at least that way you can see the pork chops, you can see the gravy. It looks really good in the picture. But anyway, once you see this thickening up and you know that you're ready to go, you need to go ahead and get your pork chops on a plate like mine are right here, and start spooning that gravy over top of them, because you're ready to eat. And like I said, you could get some vegetables with this, you could get some biscuits or some bread, or maybe even cornbread or something to go with it, and you've got such an amazing meal. And these taste so good because there's so much flavor going on inside of them. Like I said, with the gravy and the pork, it just works to have such a great taste. And the best thing is, when you've got this, you've got something impressive to offer. And I gotta tell you, I think you're just gonna like this if you give it a try. It's something that's just really tasty. I hope you liked this video, and if you did, please like and subscribe. And if you get a chance, check out the Southern Mountain Kitchen website, where you can get a free recipe, check out the cookbooks available from the Southern Mountain Kitchen, and if you'd like to, you could order a cookbook at a discounted price, cheaper than Amazon, with shipping that is also cheaper than Amazon. So if you get a chance, check it out, and I hope you have a great day.